Welcome back to Games at Crick Hollow. I've decided I want to do a solo series for this channel. Now these are going to be games in the beginning that are a multiplayer game but have a strong solo variant. We will be playing strictly solo games later on down the line. The first game we're going to take a look at is Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. This game was created by Jacob Frixilius, Nick Little, and Sydney Engelstein, produced by Stronghold Games. Now, as you see in front of you, a blank canvas. My goal is to introduce you to the game pieces or the game components and set them up for a playthrough of the game. So the first component we want to take a look at is the game board. Now, there are several icons on this board that I want to explain to you. The first thing we're going to take a look at is this track here. This is your temperature track. All right. In order to win the game, you must have the temperature raised to +8 Celsius. You'll know this is your temperature track by this icon here. Now the next track we want to take a look at is this track. This is your oxygen track. In order to win the game, you must have the oxygen level at 14%. You'll know this is your oxygen track by this icon here. Now in the middle you'll see some hexes. This is where you build your ocean or create your ocean. So in these sections go tiles. They start out on the desert side, but throughout the game, when it tells you to, you flip those to the ocean side. So in order to win the game, you must have all the tiles turned to their ocean side. Now, let's review. In order to win the game, you must have your temperature track to +8 Celsius. You must have your oxygen track to 14% oxygen. And you must have flipped all of your ocean tiles to the ocean side. Now, there's another track here. This is your terraform rating track. And I'll explain what that track does later on in this video. All right, the next thing we want to take a look at is we want to take a look at the player board. Now, don't freak out. I know this looks like it's got a lot on it, but it actually doesn't. So I'll explain what each section does. This section holds your mega credits. Mega credits are the economy part of the game. This section holds your heat. And this section holds your plants. This is your heat production and your plant production. Now, the only thing that these do over here is they track the amount of mega credits, heat, and plants that you have. Now, there's two sections down here. These are your discount sections. This is your steel track, and this is your titanium track. The more steel you have, the more of a discount you get. The more titanium you have, the more of a discount you get. Now, a couple of things I want to draw your attention to. First of all, this shows a picture of a card equals 3 mega credits. So in this game, you can discard cards and get credits in return. In this section, it shows this is the actual steel product. Each steel product gives you a 2 mega credit discount for every steel tag you have. Same here. Every titanium product you have gives you a 3 credit discount for every titanium tag you have. I'll kind of explain that a little bit more in the on through the video. Now, this section here is your event or your action track. These actions can be taken anytime. Not anytime, but you can take as many of these actions as you want during the action phase. So that's very important to remember because it'll become important later on in the game. So as long as you've got the mega credits, the heat, and the plants, you can do whatever it tells you on this track. Now, something about this game that you need to remember. Every time you get 8 heat produced and 8 plants produced, you must spend them to increase either your temperature for your heat and your oxygen for your plants. That's not negotiable. You have to do that. 8 and 8. All right, we'll set this down here. Now, the next thing we want to take a look at are the bits and bobs that come with the game. All right. Now, these trays, it's really cool. These trays come with the game, and I love it. They've got little lids on them that hold all the bits and bobs in it to where they don't go flying everywhere. I wish every game did this. All right, so let's talk about this back tray. Now, as you'll remember, I told you that these hexes here hold these tiles. All right, now the game actually tells you that you're supposed to put tiles in each one of these hexes, like so. Well, I don't really like doing that, so I kind of have conformed the game to the way I like playing it, which is I mix them up and I put them in this tray. Then when a card or a phase tells me to flip one of the game tiles, then I just take it out of here, turn it over, and put it into a hex of my choosing. Now, as you'll notice, these tiles on their ocean side have a bonus. This tile gives you 2 plants. This tile gives you 4 mega credits. This tile gives you a card and a mega credit. So as you turn each tile over, it gives you a bonus. The next next token we want to take a look at is the point token. Every time you plant a tree, you get one of these tokens, and it equals 1 point. Now, in Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition, in the solo variant, we really don't track the points. It's hard enough getting the planet terraformed. But if you so choose, you can count your points at the end of the game and maybe try to beat your score every time. It's totally okay. Then we have these 2 small clear cubes. They go one on your temperature track and one on your oxygen track. Then we have some extra blue cubes to help with the player board. Now this front section here shows your mega credit tokens. So these cubes, the gold cubes, are equal 10 mega credits. The silver cubes equal 5 mega credits. And the copper cubes equal 1 mega credit. All right. The next thing we want to take a look at is the round tokens. Now, I want to set these over to the side for a second and show you what these do. Now, in a multiplayer game, these all kind of set up here like this. And then as you choose a phase, let's say that I choose this phase, which is the development phase, and my opponent chooses this phase, which is the production phase. You flip them over so that way you can tell what phases are being played and in what order. So as you can see, each one has a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As you play a phase, the lowest number, which is going to be 1, goes first. Then the 4 goes second. So that's the way each round is played when you play a phase. Well, I don't use that. I don't use these in that way. Now, the game tells you, if you'll see over here, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In order to count the rounds, you're supposed to put a cube in that first one. Then the next round is here. The next round is 3. Next round is 4. Only thing about it is I'm kind of clumsy sometimes. So if I'm going to get a card, I might do that. Oh no, what round was I in? So instead of doing that, let me show you what I do. And you can do it this way, or you can do what the game tells you to do, which is to put the cube on the little track there. Is I set these here. And what that does is it's a little bit clear as to what round I'm in. So it goes to the second round, put this on the bottom, and now I know I'm in round 2. Go here, and now I know I'm in round 3. There's 5 rounds to each game. All right, so that's what I utilize these for. Now, let's take a look at the phases of the game. I'm the blue player, and the AI is the red player. So in the beginning of the game, you can decide what phase you want to do. So let's just, for fun, say that I want to do the development phase. Okay? And then the AI, you take the AI cards and you mix them up. Okay? And then once you have chosen your phase, you flip a card over for the AI. And as you can see, I chose development, the AI chose construction. So look at the numbers. Mine's 1, that's 2, so I go first in this phase. And then the construction phase comes for me. Now, here's the rub. Okay, I have chosen development. Now, this is the part of the game that is very tense. And I'll explain to you why. So the AI flips over a card. Oh no, it's the same one I've got. So what that means is, for this phase, I can only do one phase instead of 2. So if it was something different like research, then I would be able to do this phase and this phase. But since we both drew the same card, we can only do one phase. I can only do one phase. And that kind of hurts. So you always want to try to get a different card, draw a different card from the AI than you draw. Okay, so let's just say, that that's fine. Let's say that, I'll get it here in a second. Okay, so let's say that, let's just pick one, research. Okay, so let's say that that the AI picked research last time. Okay, so during your turn, you can never play the same phase twice in a row. So what I do is I drop my development down, and then I look at what I want to play next. Well, the AI played research. So I say, yeah, I could use some extra cards. So this phase, I'm going to play research. Well, the AI is not going to be able to play research again. So when it draws, it'll be something different. So now I get to play 2 phases instead of 1 because I paid attention as to what the AI was playing. All right. Now, let's take a look at the phase cards. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'm going to go through each card and explain to you what they do. So the development phase, the ability is each player may play 1 green project card. The bonus is you pay 3 mega credits less for the card you play this phase. So whatever card it is you play, you have to play, you pay 3 mega credits less for it. Phase 2 is construction. The ability is each player may play 1 blue card or 1 red card. The bonus is I can either draw a card or play an additional blue card or red card this phase. Phase 3 is action. The ability is each player activates any action, effects, and standard actions. Down here, remember, these are your standard actions. And remember, it's important to remember this. You can play as many of these as you can. Just be sure you have enough resources in order to play these. The bonus for the action phase is you may activate 1 action an additional time. So let's say that there's an action that gives you 10 mega credits. You can play that action again and get 10 more. Next phase is production. The ability is each player gains heat, plants, and draws cards according to their production. They also gain mega credits equal to their production plus Terraform rating. Now remember I told you about the Terraform rating, right? So you start out with 5. Every time you increase heat, every time you increase oxygen, and every time you flip an ocean tile, you increase on the Terraform track. So let's say that we're at 10. The production says that I get 10 mega credits. Plus the bonus for this production card is I gain 4 mega credits more. So I would end up putting 4 more on my mega credit area on my board. So just remember, every time, and it's easy to forget because you get caught up, but remember, every time you increase your heat, increase your oxygen, or flip an ocean tile, you increase your Terraform rating. All right. Now, the last one is research. The ability is all players draw 2 cards and keep 1. The bonus is draw an additional 3 cards and keep 1 additional card. So what that means is if you play this card, you actually get a total of 5 and you can keep 2. Now, here's the rub. Here's a very important part of the game. When you play with the AI, okay, if you play a card out of your stack, you get the ability and the bonus. When the AI plays a card, you only get the ability. You do not get the bonus. So remember that. If you play the card, you get both the ability and the bonus. If the AI plays a card, you only get the ability. All right. Let's put that in place and put these in place. All right. Now, the next thing we want to take a look at is our corporation card. Now, in the beginning of the game, you will draw 2 corporation cards. and you will decide which one you want to play. I've decided that I want to just play with this card here. The name of the corporation is Helion. It has one titanium tag, and it has two sections on the card you need to pay attention to. The first section is you start the game with 3 heat, production, and 28 mega credits. So you would put 3 heat here, 28 mega credits there. Now the effect you get every during a certain phase is you may use heat as mega credits. You may not use mega credits as heat. So if you've got 20 heat here, you could use some of it as mega credits to draw cards or to pay for things. Now, probably very rare that that's going to happen, because if you get to 8, you have to spend it raising the heat or raising the oxygen. Okay, so that's your corporation card, and it goes here. Now we're going to take a look at some of the cards. I'm going to have to choose some here so I can kind of show you what they do. Okay. There's that one. There's that one. All right, so let's see. Let's do this one. Okay, so the red card. Okay. All right. So these are the cards that you're going to be playing with. The green cards are your production cards. So they can either have an orange production or a gray production. Now, let's take a look at this one. This one's imported GHG. This is just the card name. Now, this is how many mega credits it cost to play the card. Now, along here, you'll have what's called tags. So let's look at this one. This one has a titanium tag. All right. Now, down here, this is your titanium product. Or it produces 2 titanium. So what you do is you go over here to your titanium section and you move it to the 2 slot. So what that means is that any card that you use, let's say you'd play a red card. See how it's got a titanium tag? That means this card gets a 6 credit discount because you're at 2 here. Each titanium tag gives you a 3 mega credit discount. So 3 and 3 is 6. So that's how that works. Now there's different tags that will do different things depending on what some cards say and what some of the other things that come with the game say. Okay, so again, your green cards produce orange and gray. Now, your blue cards, they do effects and actions. All right, so let's take a look at developed infrastructure. It costs 12 mega credits. The action is spend 10 mega credits to raise the temperature 1 step. Reduce this by 5 mega credits if you have 5 or more blue cards in play. So, this action is performed during the action phase, and it tells you that right here. You see that little 3 right there? That tells you what phase this action can be played. This is an effect, and it stays into play, and the effect is ongoing. Now, in order to play this livestock, there's a requirement. The requirement is your oxygen needs to be in the yellow or white section. If it's not, you cannot play this card. It tells you that by this little check mark. Then every round, every phase 1 or phase 3, when you raise the temperature, add 1 animal to this card. Now here it says this little symbol equals 1 VP per animal on this card. So at the end of the game, if you've got 15 animals on this card, you've got 15 victory points. Okay, so remember, the blue cards are effects and actions. Now, the red cards are sort of instant cards. You play them and you get the effect. So let's take a look at this. Convoy from Europa is 14 mega credits, but it has a titanium tag. Well, you're at 2 titanium, so that means it gets a 6-point discount. So it's going to be 8 instead of 14. And once you play it, see here on the card, it shows these lightning bolts. What lightning bolts means is when you play the card, you instantly get this effect. So once you pay for it, you get to draw a card and flip an ocean tile. Then it goes off to the side. This one is the same. This is imported nitrogen. It's got 20, it costs 20 mega credits to play, but it has a titanium. Well, 6 titanium discount. You only have to pay 14 for this card. Now this has another tag that might affect it, and this tag might affect it as well. But look at all the things you get to do. You get to raise your TR 1 step, gain 4 plants, add 2 animals to another card, add 3 microbes to another card. Okay? Now, you want to keep your instant cards off to the side because there are certain cards in here that say you get mega credits equal to the amount of titanium tags. So if I've got 1, 2, 3 titanium tags, then I get 3 mega credits. If these go away, I don't get to count the these tags. I don't get to. So you want to make sure to keep the red ones around. So because the tags may be advantageous to you later on in the game. All right, so that's it for the cards. I'll explain a little bit more as I play the cards when you go through the playthrough. That way, and when we go through the playthrough, I'll do it very slowly at first, and then I'll kind of increase speed once you kind of get the hang of what we're doing. All right, well, that's the component explanation and the game setup for Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. On my next video will be a playthrough video, and we'll see how this game plays solo. So until that video comes out, I want to hope that every game you play is enjoyable.